We are started. So, before you ask any questions, make sure you watch the first and second day videos. Those of you that attended the first and second day, or you watched the first and second day videos, do you have any questions? Okay. Do y'all mean that I went over that material so well that y'all don't have any questions whatsoever? Is that what y'all are saying?
I was just going to have one. It's more of a comment than a question.
Okay.
The issue that we were having on Tuesday where you were like breaking up and I couldn't hear you.
Yes.
And stuff like that, it's in the recording too. So however it recorded it, those like skips in your voice are still in the recording. So there's certain things like I basically read it over and put logic together and was like, oh, that's what he's talking about. But there's certain things that are like harder to hear you.
Okay. Is it doing it today?
Yeah.
Yeah, it did it a couple times already. I mean, if you think about it, you can figure it out, but I don't know if it'll be an issue when we get into math.
It's doing it right now.
Yeah, but y'all are not breaking up to me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to send, if y'all will just hold on a minute, I'm going to go ahead and send it right now, because if I don't send it right now, I'm not going to be able to send it. Let's see, is it Lucas? I think it's Lucas. He's got a weird last name.
If it's not cutting out on your end, it's probably a hardware issue.
Okay.
That would be my best guess.
Thank you. Hold on just a minute. Luke. Let me go with Luke. Luke. Oh, shoot. I can't even spell Luke. It's Luke's last name. There. The director. Sound cutting out. Luke got some reports from students. Got some reports from students. My voice or my sound is cutting. How much would you say? Would you say it's like 80% or 20% or?
It'll be like, I mean, it's like maybe like 10 seconds at most every like 2-3 minutes.
Just say often.
Often? Okay, my sound is cutting out often, but me. Oh yeah, out of AC 137. Out of AC 137. And 2 classes have said this. Out of AC 137. We'll check with other class in AC 236 Monday. And the reason I'm emailing him, if I email IT, they'll say, oh, we'll get to it. So, okay. Hopefully, and he'll get right on it. In fact, he was in AC 236 this morning. He don't come down. If he's still on campus, I wouldn't doubt he don't come into the classroom. All right, so here we go. Let's go back to our handy dandy outline. And my last class says, you sure do talk about that outline a lot. Duh. Anyway, I'm not even going, I'm trying to get a point across. You need to be, hold on, I'm going to Teams. I got to pull up the outline because I don't have it with me. I suck, but I'm the teacher, so I don't need it. I'm pulling it up for y'all. Outline, where is the syllabus? Syllabus, 110. And I'm going to pull it up. And today we're going to start with, the intermediate algebra review, and maybe go into 1.2, but I doubt I'll get into 1.2 because usually I get trying to get back to, how did I get back? There we go. And I need to get back to post and join. I got to get back to y'all. There we go. All right, so we're going to go to the intermediate algebra review, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up the whiteboard as we do problems, and I'm going to go and just go through the problems. That's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to go through every problem, but I'm going to go through, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick out things that you should be remembering for the intermediate algebra review. It'll make sense when I start doing it. So let's go to assignments, assignments, and there's the intermediate algebra review. And I'm just going to pick the first one, and we're going to go through, and I'm going to look at the questions. And if I see something that I think is important, and the product rule goes with the other exponential rules, which are the, okay, that's from yesterday. Let's go to add, there we go. And the exponential rules are as follows. A to the n times a to the m is equal to a to the n plus m. And of course, that's called the product rule of exponents. Okay, a to the m, or n, divided, that's wrong. Sometimes I get the cart before the horse. A to the n divided by a to the m is equal to a to the n minus m, which is called the quotient rule. To the negative n, or a to the n raised to the m power is equal to a to the n times m, and that is called the power rule. Okay, so those are our top three rules for exponents. Our aesthetic rules are a to the negative n over 1 is equal to 1 over a to the n. And that is called the inverse rule. And then we've got a to the n over a to the m. Is everybody seeing everything I'm writing?
Yeah.
Is equal to a to the m over a to the n raised to the positive w power, and that is called the inverse power rule. And there's one more, and that is the radical rule. The square root of a to the first power is equal to a to the 1/2. Now those are your 6 rules for exponents. all of you should be saying to yourself, oh yeah, I remember those. Okay? If you are saying, I have no clue what he's talking about, then we have a problem. But most of you, since you've had 101 and 102, are equivalent. Okay, there's somebody tapping on something. I don't know what that is.
Landon, that's coming from you.
I don't think it's me. I'm not doing anything.
The thing keeps lighting up every time it happens.
Yeah, it's something static. It sounds like something tapping. So if you could mute your mic, let's see if that takes care of it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So he must have some kind of short in his mic or something because it was tapping. It sounded like tapping. It's driving me crazy. Sorry. All right. So here is the 6 rules. I'm going to draw a circle around that one and a circle here. I'm drawing with the mouse now, so I can't draw with the mouse. It sucks. Okay. So there's your first rule, your second rule, your third rule, your fourth rule, your fifth rule, and your that being said, let's go back and let's do a couple of problems and then we'll move on to the next thing. Because I've got, I don't know when you had, I'll tell you what, let's do a little experiment right quick. I'm going to put my enrollment up so I can see your hands. Okay, I want you to raise your hand when I ask you this question, okay? Not me. Okay, I want you to tell me if you've had Algebra 1 or Algebra 2 or Math 101 or Math 102 in the last year. Raise your hand. In the last year. Exactly. That's what I thought. There's only a handful of you that have had Algebra 1 or 2 or 101, 102 in the last year. Out of 26 people or 25 or 23 people, one. All right, now clear your hands. Take your hands down. How many of you have had within 2 years? And that's including the ones that just go ahead and do your hands again that had it in the last year. Go ahead and tell me within 2 years. Okay, now we've jumped. Okay, so we still got half the class that hasn't had it in 2 years. So that's why I'm doing this. Okay, I just want everybody to know because there's always going to be somebody in the group. You can take your hands down now. There's always going to be somebody in the group that invented algebra that's going to say, well, why are we going over this? Well, the whole purpose of school is to learn. If you already know the material or think you know the material, then I'm not teaching to you. So those of you that invented mathematics and invented algebra, if you don't like that, stay at home and create a cure for this coronavirus. How about that? Okay, so let's go to the handy dandy question. Now this one we answered the other day, and you got to put the parentheses around the -4. That's it there. But there's some other questions that you could go over. That would be the power rule, 2 to the 9th. Okay, this is a polynomial. They'll give you a couple of rationals. So let's go. Here's one. What do you do when you have all this trash? Okay, well, you got all this. You need to put everything over a common denominator. Okay, but that's not what they're asking. They just want to know if it's a polynomial. Well, you're adding, so yeah, It is a polynomial. I'm not worried about those things. Can somebody tell me what that one thing is? What's the one thing that will make this problem challenging? Anybody? That negative right there. That negative will separate the ones that get it right versus the ones that get it wrong. All right, so let's do this problem. I'll write it bigger for those who can't see. So 5x squared minus 5 plus 7x squared plus 5x plus 7 minus 9x to the second. We've got a plus 1 in front of this one. And we've got a negative 1 in front of this one. And that negative 1 is what causes the problems. Oops. Sorry about that. That's wrong. Where's my highlighter? There we go. That negative 1 is going to cause the problems. For those that get it wrong, that's where you're going to go wrong. So the positive 1 doesn't change anything because 1 is the multiplicative identity. So that's going to be 5x squared minus 5. Again, we have the multiplicative identity. It doesn't change anything. But the negative 1 is not the multiplicative identity. So it changes everything. So positive 9x squared So remember to distribute the negative. And of course, what do you do after the distributive law? You combine like terms. So this 5x squared will go with this 7x squared and this 9x squared. And that's going to be what? 16, it'll be 21x squared. And then we take the handy dandy highlighter and use this aqua color. Negative 5 plus 7 minus 4. And then the only thing left, dang old Verde, positive 5x. Is going to be, I done forgot, 21x squared. 21x shift up to, let's see, my blue is, or plus 5x, sorry, forgot about the 5x. Plus 5x, and then negative 5 plus 7 is 2, and then 2 minus 4 is negative 2. And we should feel good about ourselves so we don't have to put smokestacks on our trucks. Okay? We feel good? Next, that's combining like terms and distributive law. Real basic, but some of you might need to have a refresher. Next, let's see what we got. Factor by grouping. Let's see, grouping. Let's see, if we group, we can group those two. Let's see, I don't think right. We could do that. That might help us. So let's see. The reason I know we can't do anything with this one is because there's nothing in common with 4s and 3. So I'm going to go 8st, and then I'm going to do minus 4s, and then I'm going to do 6t plus or minus 3. Okay? What's in common with 8s and 4s? I think 2s, right? And that leaves us with 4t minus what? 2? Well, I don't think this is going to work, but, and then what's in common with this? A 2, a 3, and that's going to leave t minus 1. Now, that's as far as you can go. So your answer would be 2s plus 3 times 4t minus 2 times 3 times t minus 1. I'm not going to type all that in. I'm just going to go in and.
Well, if you grouped the like 8st and 6, and then the negative 4s and the negative 3.
Okay. So they want you to actually. Okay. All right, let me change that then. I thought they wanted you to group it in terms of, okay, let's try that. And that's what grouping is, trial and error. So with 8st, you can factor out what? A 2t? And that will leave you with what? 4s plus what? 3? 4s plus 3. S plus 3, and then you can put them together. So good, thank you. 2t minus 1 times 4s plus 3. Okay? Thank you for that input. Question, gripe, complaint. Okay, next. And I'm just trying to, I'm going to try to go through the whole, okay, there's another factor by grouping. I'm trying to go by concepts here. All right, this is reverse FOIL, or factor out a common term, because you always want to factor out a common term first. Okay, always factor out a common term first. So 2, and that's going to leave you with a squared plus 2a minus 15. And this is a, and this is a, and this is 1 and 15, 3 and 5. 3 and 5 will give us a 2 or an 8. 1 and 15 will give us a 16 or a 14. So we need a 2, so we're going to use 3 and 5. So what kind of sign is this right here? This is a positive, so that means our 5 has to be positive. And what does this mean, like or unlike? That means unlike, so this will be a negative. All of you should be saying, oh yeah, I remember that. Now, if you're saying, oh yeah, I remember that, I suck at it, then you need to do more problems. You need to make sure, and I'll show you how to do that, but you need to do more problems if you're saying, oh yeah, I remember that, I suck at it. Because a lot of people suck at the reverse FOIL. More important to make y'all, to focus on the math rather than typing in the answer. Okay? All right, next. That's another factor. I want to get to the shortcuts because that's probably next. That's, we'll do this one because you're going to suck at this one because you can't factor out anything. So let's go ahead and try that one. This one is going to be 6v squared plus 5vp So 6v squared plus 5vp minus 21p squared. And I'm going to break up my first term. And I know that v is going to be in my first term, so I'm going to put a v there and a v there. Oops. And I know my p is going to be in the last term. And this is just the okay. So 6 is 1 times 6, 2 times 3. 21 is 1 times 21, 3 times 7. And as a general rule, if this number is not proportionally out of range of these two numbers, like if it was 140, that would be out of range. But since it's in the range of 5, 6, and 21, I will probably try these first. Now, I'm not saying that's going to be it. I'm just saying if this is not an improportionate number to these two, then you don't need this big number right here, see? And remember, the outside and the inside is what makes up the inside. I mean, the outside and the inside is what makes up that middle term. So if you have a 21 times 6, what's just a 5. So that's why I'm going with the 2 and the 3, and the 3 and the 7. So I'm going to undo my little circle there. Hold on a second. There we go. What is 2? And I'm going to just do a little. What is 2 times 3? I'm sorry, 2 times 7. 2 times 7 is 14. And 3 times 3 is what?
9.
And somebody tell me what are the sums of 14 and 9? 23, or what? 5. We need 5. So all I got to do now is put a 2 here and a 3 here, because that 2 and 3 will always give me 6. And then I got to make my outside and my inside make 5. I need a 5. And then that 3 is going to be right here. Now, what do we need? We need a positive. So what's bigger, 14 or 9? 14. So the 14 gets a positive. What does this mean? This means unlike. So that means this is negative. And your answer is 2v minus 3p times 3v plus 7p. Now at this point, I know what some of y'all are saying. I suck at that. Well, if you suck at that, you better make sure when I show you how to do extra problems, you better take advantage of it, because you're going to see a lot of it in Math 110. Okay? Now this is review. This is stuff that should have been drilled into your head into Algebra 1, Algebra 2, Math 101, Math 102. This right here. I'm going to spend a lot of time on that one because we just did one like it. Find the domain. Let's go over domain and range right quick. Let's say I give you, let's start off with a graph, okay? Start off with a graph. And let's draw a little line here. And let's start, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, I don't want to do that. I don't want to have the same number for the X and the Y. Domain is input. Kind of like the water in a what? An ice machine. If I put 5 gallons of water in an ice machine, I'm going to get 5 gallons of ice. Range is what? Output. Domain is X. Range is what? Y. So, if I highlight, there's my X values, because you can't have Y without X. So your domain is your independent variable. And your range is your dependent variable. Because you can't have gas mileage without gas. You can't have the range if you don't have domain. So our domain for this function is from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That is our domain. Our range is right there. And our range is from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 to 9. That's our range. Now, that's when you're given a graphic representation. Your domain is 6, 1 to 6. Your range is 1 to 9. If you're given an algebraic, like given right now, then you set the denominator, because with radicals, write this down because this is very important. With radicals, okay, with those two forms of expressions or equations, domain is affected. Because you can't have 0 in what? You can't have 0 in the denominator on a fraction. And what can you not have in an even exponent or an even root? You can't have a what? A negative. So you got to find out where this is a rational, so you set the denominator equal to 0. Set denominator equal . You can't use 5. So the answer is in set builder notation, x such that x cannot equal 5. Or in interval notation, negative infinity to 5, non-inclusive, union 5, non-inclusive, to infinity. So you should be saying to yourself, oh yeah, I remember writing those two. First one's set builder, and the second one is interval. Now, while I'm at it, before we get, because time is going to be up in 9 minutes, and some of y'all are going to start convulsing. What if you want to do extra problems? Well, I'll show you. There's that are going, oh my God, I suck at this. Okay, well, before you start hamming, let's go and see what to do And I will be glad to do these problems with you the first week, which is next week, is our first week of math. Go to chapter contents, and you have to find these problems because they will probably be in the appendix or review. Here we go. See the R? And there is the study plan is extra problems. All of these problems that I'm doing are coming from these 6 sections. So I'll show you again. Let me clear this. If you want to go do extra problems that doesn't hurt your grade, you can still send them to me and we can do them, is go to chapter and just click on whichever review you want to work on. This one is probably, I'll tell you how to find it. Go back to the question that we just did. Hold on, I'm trying to get there. Assignments. Algebra review. We just did, well, golly, I feel like we did 5 or 6 questions. Why is there only got, oh, I only typed in 1. Okay, that's why. Look what this says right here. Cancel. R 4.1. So go back. Oh, Lord. No, I don't want to leave. Save. There. Go back to chapter contents. Go to R 4.1. Study plan. It's not exactly like it. So hopefully that'll help some of y'all that are not going to say anything right now, but are really saying to yourself, I suck at some of this. Okay, if you suck at some of it, then you need to go back to the review sections, and that's what you need to do this weekend. Well, Hubert, what if I don't know how to do it? Then you hit what? One of these, or you hit what? Ask my instructor and send it to me. I don't mind going over it, but I'm only giving you this one chance. Monday and Tuesday is going to be it. I'm sorry. Monday and Wednesday review, that's it. I'm done. I'm ready to move. So you better jump on it. And you've got the whole weekend to work on nothing but these review sections. Well, let's say you don't need those. Well, if you don't need them, just do the review homework. The intermediate algebra review. This is if you need extra help. Okay, who's got questions?
So when are we required to like be done with the review?
I just told you. Monday and Wednesday, I'm done.
Okay.
Moving on. I'm not going to give you a date because I know what some of y'all will do if I give y'all a date. What will you do? Somebody tell me what you will do if I give you a date.
We just
You'll wait till the
procrastinate
last
the whole
minute.
time.
You'll wait till the last minute to do the math. I'm not going to do that. I never have. I've been teaching for 25 years. I do not give dates. Okay, I tell you, and you listen to me in class, and you say, okay, well, he says by Wednesday, we need to have that review done. So that means that by Wednesday, I've got to have that intermediate algebra review done. That's what you should be saying to yourselves. I had to do this in the last class. I had a student, she would not leave until I gave her a date. And I said, I'm not giving you a date. And she said, well, I need to know a date. This was the other class. I said, you need to have the homework done by Monday. Okay. So I didn't give her a date. I said, you need to have it done by Monday. And she was happy with that. Y'all are conditioned, okay? Y'all are conditioned to having to have a date. I'm not going to give you a date. I'm telling you that by Wednesday, I'm not going to accept any questions from this review. So that means, where am I going to go after the review? I'm going to 1.2. And then I'll be working on 1.2. And then I'm going to say in class, all right, I'm going to 1.3 or whatever the next section is. I'm going to 1.3 next Monday. I'm going to 2.1. Then that means by next Monday, you need to have 1.2 done or questions sent in. That you send in. Okay? Does that answer your question? Who asked it? Did somebody ask it? Answer it? Did I answer it? Okay. So by Wednesday of next week, I'm going to be done with this. Now, you can do this. You can do it by let's see, what time is it? Some of you that invented mathematics, you can do it by 10:30. And then you can take the weekend off. If you don't have any questions and you do that by 10:30, knock yourself out. But I know that there's about 5 to 8 of y'all, by the hands that y'all raised a while ago, that you're going to be working on this review section. And you send me questions. Now, those are the people that I'm extending Monday and Wednesday for. Okay? I'm because I know what y'all suck at. Y'all suck at rationalizing the denominator. Y'all suck at the shortcuts. Y'all suck at completing the square, which I don't think you'll have to do for the review. And you suck at reverse FOIL. That's what y'all really suck at. And that's by past 110s, not y'all in here. I hope all of y'all ace it, but I don't think you will. I think there'll be some people going to that review section right here. I think there's going to be some people going to that review section as soon as they leave class, or as soon as I leave class, or as soon as class is over. There's going to be some of y'all going to these R sections. Okay, who else has got a question? All right, let me ask you a question. I'm going to ask for hands here. How many of you will probably use the R section? Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So far I got 12. Half the class is going to be going to those review sections. That's why I'm giving y'all till Wednesday. Okay? Good job. Good interaction. I appreciate that. All right, I'm going to shut the recorder off and the presentation because some of y'all are going into convulsions. So I need to stop that before y'all go into cardio infarction. Stop recording, and I'm going to check the roll.